Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession on the Avian and Loaded channel here on the Tube of Eunice. I am Avian and Loaded, your host and narrator and lifelong action figure collector. Started collecting action figures a long time ago. Started with the 12-inch G.I. Joes during the Vietnam War era, moved on to the Megos and the World's Greatest Superheroes collection, their line of Marvel and DC figures, some other Mego figures too, some Starsky and Hutch and Planet of the Apes and Star Trek. Great thing about those Megos is that they all were about the same size. Most of them were built on the exact same body, and they had cloth clothing, so you could swap some stuff around. You know, I could make an evil Captain Kirk by putting Scotty's red shirt on him. Sort of, my 10-year-old mind's eye view of an alternate universe Captain Kirk. So suddenly it is occurring to me that I have spent 50 years kitbashing action figures. That is a realization to give one pause, is it not? Got dust bunnies on the work table here. I was kind of wiping things down, and apparently I missed a few. So, anyways, we have in front of us, I believe, from the year 2018, if my memory is correct, and it's usually, within a year or two of correct. We have on the left here the Wolverine Weapon X figure, which was Hasbro's first take on the Weapon X. I believe the previous one had been a Toy Biz release. It was very short, that Toy Biz one, because of course Hasbro has, even for Wolverine, but Toy Biz has, been upscaling their 6-inch line of figures. The average Hasbro Marvel Legends hero figure, Captain America or Iron Man, whoever, now is like 6.5, 6.25 to 6.5 inches tall. Wolverine, of course, is just a little guy. The old knucklehead. I think he's supposed to be 5 feet or 5 feet 2, if I recall correctly. I don't really care too much about the statistics from the official Marvel Universe handbook or any of that nonsense. As long as it looks good and they look like they're in scale to each other, it doesn't really bother me. But the figure, both of these are the same figure. They're the 2018 Weapon X figure. Weapon X, of course, was the definitive Wolverine origin story, written and drawn by Barry Windsor Smith in the pages of Marvel Comics Presents, I think in the 1990s. And the one on the left here that we see, this Weapon X, is the kind that came right out of the box. This is Weapon X straight out of the box. He is a thing of beauty. They recently re-released this one with some changes to the paint deco and I believe a new head and a new helmet that made it apparently even more accurate to the original Barry Windsor Smith artwork. But I never saw one in the store, and I didn't pre-order it because I'm allergic to pre-ordering. I may pick one up somewhere down the line because I am a big fan of this look for Wolverine and an even bigger fan of Barry Windsor Smith's work on that story. But always wanted to have this figure and was very, very happy when Hasbro released an updated version of it, I guess 8 years ago now, come to think of it. And then I think it was last year or the year before we got the newer update with the different helmet, and I think the hoses were a different color, if I recall correctly. And I think the devices strapped on his hip, I think those were the same but had a different paint job. Not 100% sure on that. But anyway, in this form, Logan, Weapon X, has had his mind wiped and has just recently had the adamantium bonded to his skeleton, and is sort of being trained and turned into a murder machine by the Weapon X program. Not that Wolverine ever really had much trouble being a murder machine, but they wanted to make it official, I guess. Very, very cool figure. The articulation somewhat limited by all of the stuff that he has attached to him, But I mean, really, this is not a figure that you get so much to do a lot of intense posing with as it is to just look frickin' cool on the shelf, right? Now I made a Kitbash with a Black Ops Valverse figure a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago, 3 4 years ago. I took the black soldier body, the Black Ops or whatever Special Ops, the black Special Ops figure from Valverse, the Action Force. I guess that's what it would have been. I managed to get all this stuff off of one of these figures without damaging it, the helmet and the harness and the belt with all of the equipment attached to it. Managed to get that all off with some heat using my heat gun, and used that to create a Kitbashed Valverse Action Force Weapon X. And if you can hear it already in my voice, yes, I did sell it. Sold it for good money because it was a really cool kit bash. But I do kind of regret, of course, letting that one go. Oh, what might have been in this collection room. Oh my God. I just, I can't even. But one of the things that I got out of it, and it's a poor consolation prize indeed, but was a naked Weapon X body with no head, because I used the original head on that kit bash. And what I thought would be cool, at the time, Old Man Logan was a big deal. Old Man Logan appeared in the Old Man Hawkeye series. Here's Old Man Hawkeye. They were in that story together. And Old Man Logan, I think, also had his own comic series, I think more than one volume. And there were some pretty good stories about Old Man Logan. He is a future Wolverine who has been through even more stuff than the current Wolverine, through some trauma and tragedy. And this Old Man Logan eventually comes back to the current day 616 Marvel Universe and has some adventures as well. And that was during the time period when the current day Wolverine was dead. He had been killed and I think encased in molten adamantium or something. But Wolverine is one of those characters that there's just so many looks and so many different versions of the character, alternate universes, alternate costumes, alternate personalities, alternate histories. If someone says to you, well, tell me how Wolverine came to be, tell me the true story and the full story of Wolverine, it's impossible because the character's been around for 52 years now, 52 years, I think. And it is just about impossible to piece together in a concise way the entire history and all the conflicting backstories. But in a way, that's kind of freeing if you think about it. Because no matter how dedicated you are to a single canon and only one story for a single character, you've got Wolverine, who's a character who exists in the 616 universe, but also interacts regularly with a multiverse of, Days of Future Past, and that possible future, and the Powers of 10 possible future. I mean, there's all different kinds of realities that he interacts with. There's all different kinds of screwing with his brain that he's undergone, people wiping his memory and giving him false memories, and him having no memory. So Wolverine is a character that really lends itself to pick your own canon. Your head canon is as good as anybody else's, and no matter what you decide, there's a comic book story that you can point to, or an animated series story you can point to, or a movie story that you can point to that is going to back you up. If everything is true, then nothing is true. And if nothing is true, then everything is true. And Wolverine certainly is an example of a character that can be who and what you want him to be. And in my case, I like him to be, at least in this case, the Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X from Marvel Comics Presents in the 1990s series. And also, Old Man Logan running around in a Speedo. I've thought about getting him some soft goods clothing. Because I think this head, again, from that Old Man Hawkeye set, this is the head that doesn't have the hat on it. I think that's a really good Old Man Logan head, the Old Man Logan who has lived for so long. And, in the original Chris Claremont's original idea of what the backstory for Wolverine should be. He was hundreds, if not, close to 1,000 years old, and had just undergone lifetime after lifetime of having his life experiences and thinking he was living just this single life, and then his, having something traumatic happen, losing his memory, and starting over again. They hinted at that a little bit in the Wolverine, the movie that was just called The Wolverine. That was the James Mangold directed one that wasn't, Logan. But in The Wolverine, we saw that his experiences in World War II and how he had been, trapped in Japan during the nuclear bombings that the United States inflicted on Japan, and how that affected him. And then that came back to sort of haunt him in the present day. That was a pretty good movie. People kind of forget how good that one was, because the one previous to that with the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool that had his mouth sewn shut, and the one, that one was so terrible. And Logan, the one that came after that, the Wolverine, was so terrible, or was so great, that people forget that the other movie even exists. But it's not bad, and he goes up against Silver Samurai, and there's some good stuff in The Wolverine if you haven't seen that movie. I don't know what it is about Wolverine. I'm not really sure. I mean, I've always been an X-Men fan, even before the Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Dave Cockrum, Terry Austin, etc. era. I like even the Silver Age X-Men stories, the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby stuff, the Jim Steranko stuff. The Neil Adams and Roy Thomas run. Oh my God, such good stuff. There are so many good X-Men comics, and so many terrible ones, because, there have been times where I think there were as many as 4 or 5 different monthly titles coming out every month just of the X-Men teams, various X-Men teams. And then, of course, you had some characters like Wolverine who have supported their own solo book for quite some time as well. And I'm not even sure. I'm sure there must be a Wolverine comic now. I think at one point there was a Wolverine comic and an Old Man Logan comic, maybe going at the same time. There's just so much material to be mined in the backstory of these characters. And I think that creators really enjoy Wolverine. I think is a character that really people enjoy. If you have a creative drive, you want to create some stories. And, my kit bashing a few Wolverines, which I have in my X-Men displays, I guess that's my own way of making up stories about Wolverine. But I just wanted to show off these Weapon X Logan Wolverine figures. Again, the one on the left being the 2018 release of Weapon X, Wolverine as Weapon X. And the one on the right being just the body of that figure, along with the head from the Old Man Hawkeye set. They're a lot of fun, and again, shorter than the average Marvel legend. But perhaps here's a mad scientist who may have had something to do with the project. You can see he's taller than the Wolverines, even though he's behind them there. But if we put him kind of back to back, you can see Wolverine's just a little short guy, but don't say that to his face, because he's got those claws, and man, he'll screw you up. He'll screw you up something fierce. And actually, this guy kind of looks like he could be from that Weapon X storyline with his crazy goggles. This is one of my many kit-bashed eggheads. It's Egghead with the alternate eyes closed head from the Walmart exclusive Doctor Strange. And then the goggles. I think the goggles are from the Green Goblin. You see some purple on there. I think those are the Green Goblin goggles from the MCU Green Goblin figure from a couple years ago. But yeah, it takes a bunch of scientists to create a Weapon X. And I got plenty of them. And the interesting thing about these guys and the Weapon X program is they make them all buy their pants and ties at the same place. We don't really know why that is, but it's the Canadian government. What can you do? Nobody can really understand them and their strange government policies. Can they? A little more rambling than usual in this one, but I was actually cleaning off my Wolverines with my trusty microfiber cloth, and I just thought they looked good together and wanted to share that that little shot of them together with you and tell you the little story about how I ended up with a naked old man Wolverine running around in a Speedo. I mean, that's my headcanon. That's what he's doing, and maybe he's at a pool party at the mansion. Who knows? Thanks for joining me for this Action Obsession video. I appreciate you stopping by. And if you like this video, if you like my content, if you even think it is content, God love you. Please do leave a thumbs up, like, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you will, and ring the notification bell so that you find out whenever I upload something new. I appreciate all that. Share the video with anyone you know who likes naked old men running around with their claws out. And I guess I'll see you on the next Action Figure Obsession.